back to Tommy. Being rushed. Throws for Riley towards the near side. Riley, he went out of bounds. Riley went out of bounds. Oh, my goodness. It's going to stand, and the Huskers have the lead with 17 seconds left. Oh, my goodness.
What a finish to this football game. Memorial Stadium.
After 5 losses by a combined 13 points, Nebraska finally on the right side of fate this past weekend as Brandon Riley's TD catch with 17 seconds left gave the Huskers their signature win of the season, a 39-38 decision over 7th-ranked Michigan State. We are thrilled to be joined now on BTN Live by Nebraska head coach Mike Riley. Mike, first and foremost, thanks for the time. I'm sure it was an enjoyable weekend in Lincoln.
Rick, it was. It was a long time coming, but we were excited with the win for everybody's sake, for the players and coaches, and the fans were awesome. It was an unbelievable, electric night in Memorial Stadium.
We'll get to that game-winning touchdown in just a bit, but I have to ask, are you a believer in karma?
I suppose so. I don't know. Things come and go in our sports world all the time, and the main thing about football and sports, I guess, in general, is you got to make plays and you got to do things to win games, and I was proud of our team able to do that.
Mike, let's walk through Brandon Riley's game-winning touchdown catch moment by moment. Did you initially see the official's hat on the ground? What was your first reaction?
From where I was, Rick, I didn't see the hat, but I heard about it immediately from the guys up in the box. So we were aware of what might happen, and we were actually in the process of getting ready to call the next play from the original line of scrimmage.
So now the officials huddle, and they determine that Brandon was forced out of bounds, that the touchdown will stand. What is the team's reaction at that point?
Well, everybody was obviously really excited about that. That was... we had made a few big plays in a row, and that kind of capped it off, and it was a beautiful drive, and it obviously put us in a great position to win the game.
So the play's upheld. Now you have the lead, but there are 17 seconds left on the clock. So what was the first order of business at that point?
Well, from there, we actually went for 2 and didn't make it, so that put them in a position where they could kick a field goal and win the game. We had hoped to make the 2-point conversion and at least make that a tie situation. So when we didn't do that, then we had to decide how we were going to kick the ball off and what kind of alignment we were going to see and try to prevent them from having good field position, which I thought after the kick that they got pretty good position on the kickoff return.
Mike, take me inside that locker room. We saw the celebration on the field, but what was it like for the players inside the room?
Oh, the players were very excited. As you go through the week and you get ready for the game, you build up a lot of respect for your opponent. And Mark D'Antonio's team is a really solid, good, well-coached football team. So we knew what we were getting into. And so with all that, with their ranking, with where we have been through the year and a lot of tight games, it was like a big release, really. I was really happy for our coaches and the players.
Now, let's be honest, Mike, from an emotional standpoint, this team was able to keep it together. They could have gone the other way with all your close losses this year. How did they do that? Well,
you just hit a great point right there. People react a lot of different ways to winning and losing, and there can be some real bad circumstances with a string of losses, and particularly close losses that are always very emotional. But I thought that I think that the reason that people just stayed the course was that there's a lot of stability with the older guys on the team and with the coaches that are coaching them, and everybody just kind of came to work each Monday. I was always impressed by the fact that without a lot of drama, we were able to go through each week and do our best to get ready to play.
Mike, there's never been any secret about the passion of Husker fans. Have you and your staff been surprised at all by the intensity, both positive and critical, of the fans throughout the year?
I don't think that we could say we've been surprised. We've been learning about it probably through our whole lives in football. Us coaches, we were fans when we were young and players when we were younger and know about history. So, and in getting here, my first basically thought process about this place is that everybody cares, and There's lots of different reaction to caring when you win or when you lose, but it's a very, very positive thing. And, you know, like I said earlier, that crowd on Saturday night was fun from the very beginning. They are so into their school and their team. It's really exciting to get to be a part of all of that.
And, Mike, this win came a few days after Athletic Director Sean Eichhorst sent a letter to Husker fans thanking them for their support, asking them to continue supporting you. Obviously, the message there was positive, though I know some Husker former football players question the use of the word rebuilding in that letter.
Yeah. How
much aspect of rebuilding is there in the job that you and your staff are doing?
Well, I think it's probably the rebuilding that I refer to as basically there's a lot of things in the initial transition of new staff coming here that you do have to rebuild. There's a whole new language, some different stuff offensively, defensively, the stuff within the game itself that takes a foundation and takes building upon each day. And so there's lots of pieces as you go forward, and that includes the recruiting part, you know, the philosophy that we establish in recruiting, the kinds of players and people that we want here. So that's the way I look at it, and certainly we know the foundation of the history from way, way back, and appreciate every bit of that. The former players have been awesome. There's been so much connection as we have gone through our time here, whether it was right from the beginning through spring practice, coming into fall camp, lots of former players coming by. That's what this place is. It's just a culmination of all the people that have been here, and it's a very good thing.
Mike, how much can one win, a win like this, in prime time, at home, over a top 10 opponent, do in that process?
I think it was absolutely great timing. You know, our team has played consistently through the year. Now, not consistently enough to win, but we've competed in every game, and to stay with it and win this game against a very good football team, well-coached football team, good physical football team, I think it's very good for us right now. It was a win, and now we've got a couple games left to see what we can do with that win.
A last one for you, Mike. I know you've heard the complaints about the call from the Michigan State side. Putting that play aside, putting any specific play aside, in your opinion, is college football doing replay the right way?
Yes, I think we're doing it the right way, but I don't think we're done studying it and the situations that come up. I think that's an ongoing thing. You know, it's one of those situations in our game that's relatively new. It's not going to be perfect all the way around. I think we can learn continually from the NFL, how they do it, learn from our history, and how to make it better. It's exactly what has to happen in a lot of phases of college football, whether it's the recruiting pieces, the game pieces, the replay pieces. I think we have to keep studying all that and seeing if we can make it better, and then implement it through a lot of study on things that can actually help.
Nebraska head coach Mike Riley joining us today on BTN Live. Mike, truly appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot, Ray.